Happy Lunar New Year, everyone. Hey everybody, it's me, Jeff Acosta. How you guys all doing? Well, it's a gorgeous Sunday for me today, and I hope you're all having a great day as well, no matter what day it is of the week. Well, I thought what I would do is bring some more Asperger syndrome talk to my videos and my channel, and I thought one thing I would definitely talk about is collecting, which is something I've been doing a lot of my entire life, and just like what I currently have. And I thought what I would first start off with is talking about my magnet collection. Yeah, so here's a view of all my magnets I have so far. Many of them from a lot of my travels, my memories, shows I've seen, restaurants I've eaten at, breweries I drank at, and just other personal things too. So this really is a fun collection to have. I think it's just because there's just something about collecting magnets that's just fun. And then so what I'm gonna do is I thought maybe I would give you guys like, some feedback on some of my magnets. That way you can know what's really special about them. So those were quite a bit of magnets, wouldn't you agree? There's so many of them. I mean, I can't talk about every single one of them. So what I thought I would do is just go down maybe a few of them and then, just tell you a backstory behind them and what they mean and like how I got them. Okay, so the first one I do want to talk about, yes, this is my magnet of Jesus Christ. This was from one of the last two churches I attended in Sacramento. It was actually one of the only ones to remain during the pandemic, and I was very grateful to some old friends of mine who brought me to the church a couple times when I really needed to be in the house of God. I hope I don't offend anybody by this because I know not everybody's religious, but when I was at the church, when I actually went to confession over this last summer, if any of you remember, like my video I made released back in September 2021, what I really liked about it is just the chance to actually express some frustration I was still feeling because of some things that happened in Sacramento. And also I just decided, you know what, I'll just go into the gift shop to see if I could find anything. I mean, I know I wasn't going to find like a magnet or anything of like the church's name or anything, but when I found this one, I knew I had to add this to my collection. So I really love it, and I really hope I don't offend anybody by saying this, but I just feel like I do have God with me and Jesus. Now this one is actually from my very first vacation to Croatia back in 2018. If any of you remember some of those videos I posted like before I started changing up my videos, um, this was the very first like place I was with my family that day. It was Pula, which is a beautiful seaside town. In fact, I did not know this, but Pula has a coliseum themselves. A lot of us, I mean, well, and maybe many, I don't know how many actually did, but I did not know about that because I was always under the impression about the Coliseum in Rome. So it was really wonderful, and it was a beautiful way to or and also a fun way, not just beautiful, but fun way to start off my very first time to Croatia. So, and it was just wonderful to just be there. I drank quite a bit of coffee on that trip. Got to see so many things. Got to learn so much more about my family, thanks to my godfather and my godmother out there. It was a wonderful trip. So I'll always remember this. Now this one I actually obtained from my grandmother, my dad's mother, because she actually used to work for the A's many years ago. So and I grew up, and even though I was never really into sports, I grew up going to a lot of A's games. So even though I was never really into playing sports, I would definitely say that the one professional sport I would definitely want to see in person, or just sport in general, I should say not just professional, is baseball. I do like to see major league baseball games and minor league games, and also I grew up. Also, my siblings were all into baseball, so I went to a lot of their games. So this was really wonderful. And even though if you look at the beginning of the video, like when I did my recording, so you could see all my magnets. I also do have Stomper, and also an Oakland A's opening day magnet. But like when I saw that my grandma still had quite a few of these old magnets on her fridge, I just asked her a few years ago, Grandma, can I have one of these? And then she's like, Go ahead, Hito. Yeah, and that's what she calls all of us, me and my cousins, and I love it. So thank you, Grandma. Now this one is one of the my most recent ones from this last Christmas. Because I finally landed my position in healthcare with Sutter, I decided to, for the first time, I would treat myself this past holiday season. So what I did was, because I wanted to, and I'm not making this up, one of my siblings is actually going to be the new pitching coach for the AAA team of the San Diego Padres, the El Paso. So when I looked that up, that just made me think about the San Diego chicken once again, and I decided to look it up, and I found that little video of his collection of his greatest bits from the '90s on YouTube, and then I just decided to see if he had a gift shop of any kind. And by golly, he had these magnets, so I ordered one. But the cool thing is, so I decided that I was going to ask Ted Gianolis, who is the San Diego Chicken, if it's possible to autograph the magnet, but he got my email too late. However, he actually said that he included an autograph picture, which he did, and which you can actually see in my Grinch video from this past Christmas. So thank you, Ted. Thank you. Okay, so this one has personal meaning. This is actually from the Animal Preserve in Santa Rosa, which I've been to twice. Once with my best buddy and his family, and then here's where the personal part comes in. This was actually back in the fall of 2018 when my uncle decided to treat me and my cousin to an overnight stay. We stayed there 2 nights, and we basically got to see all the animals. It was great, but the reason he wanted to do that was because he had cancer. I forgot all what he had. So he decided, I guess he was basically seeing it as if like he was going to pass away anytime soon, and he actually did the following year in March of 2019, which I miss him. So he decided to do this for us, and I'm sorry, I'm getting a little choked up. He took me and my cousin, and because he wanted to have a little bit of more time with his niece and nephew. So thank you to my uncle, and it was just a wonderful way to at least make a last few good memories with him before he passed away. Thank you, Uncle Johnny. Now this one was actually, I ordered it back in November 2020, and it came around a couple weeks later. The reason I bought this, I haven't actually been to the Los Angeles location as it says on the magnet, but there was actually a location in Sacramento where I actually met up with a friend of mine the night before Halloween in 2020. Back before when the pandemic when it looked like things were kind of turning around, and then things were starting to reopen. But of course, as we all know, things got a little bit different. So you know what? I decided to look up on their website, and by golly, they had magnets. So I went back over to the shop, but they did not have any in the actual shop in person. So I ordered it offline, and I got this. So this is pretty cool. So, and this is also another thing. I don't just collect magnets from places I travel and everything, but it also from like breweries and restaurants if they have any magnets, which I got a few, and especially some museums. And there will actually be a museum one in a moment. So yeah, so just anything so I can, share the memories, not just in my pictures and my videos, but also in my fridge too. This one definitely has some strong meaning behind it, because if many of you remember from some of my videos, my favorite musical is Angelo Weber's Cats. And the reason for this one in particular is because I bought this when I finally got to see the show on Broadway back in June of 2017. It was always my ambition and hope one day I would finally get to see my favorite musical on Broadway ever since I saw the video back in 1998. And, even though at that time I saw the show on tour twice, once in 2001 and once in 2007, and even a local production in 2016, finally getting to see it on Broadway twice, and actually 4 times I should say altogether, because I got 2 different trips of that year, was really exciting. And then of course when the tour came in April of 2019 in Sacramento, I was really excited. And of course, if you look very closely, if you look at some of my past videos and pictures, you would see I also wear my costume to some of those performances, but not the one from when I first saw it, because I didn't make the costume until 2 months later. But still, just the fact that I finally got to see my favorite musical on Broadway, and I got a special memory for it besides pictures and video to share it with. This one is a school magnet, and this one is from my junior college, Sacramento City College, where I was finishing up my general education before I went to UC Davis. I do have a UC Davis magnet from my collection on my magnet, and if you also saw, you also saw some other schools, which is where some of my family attended class, so I got magnets there too. But when I found out that the website online finally had more of these magnets, I just had to get one, because here's the thing. Even though it was difficult at first, because leaving the Bay Area after living there my entire life, I have a lot of memories at Sacramento City College, and I even like went back to sometime later to improve my GPA with getting classes there when I tried getting into grad school. And I had a wonderful, wonderful counselor who worked with special ed students, and I'm still in touch with her to this day. So I guess in some way, even though I had great memories with UC Davis, Sacramento City College had more memories. And I think a lot of it is because of like how many classes I took and because of my counselor. So thank you to all of them for those memories. All right, you Hanna-Barbera fans. So while I don't bring a lot of television shows to my magnet collection, I have a few exceptions, and this one is definitely one of them, which is the Banana Splits. Back in 2019, when I was really devastated to learn that Warner Brothers was turning them into to a horror movie, sorry, I just started getting back into the Banana Splits craze again. So I found this magnet online, which I was really grateful for. And I'm really glad to see that the Banana Splits are actually getting better recognition as the real characters they were than instead of that horror movie. And also, it does sound like some people cannot stand, including myself, like how they were depicted as a mafia in the show Jellystone. So you know what? I'm just really glad to see that the Banana Splits will always be remembered as who they really are, lovable characters. And also, the other show I have on my fridge, I believe, is just Bonanza from a recent trip to Virginia City, which was pretty cool. So. Yeah, tra la 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 Banana Split song. Okay, here's what I was talking about, the museum thing. So this one is really cool because this was one of the last two trips I was able to take before the pandemic broke out. It was from when I went to Atlantic City in 2019, and I got to see Lucy the elephant. And as it says here, the world's largest elephant, and it's because it's an elephant-shaped building, and on the inside she is a museum now. So what the cool thing is, I mean, I've always wanted to see this since I first heard about her in 2009, because like when I was getting inspiration for architecture for my children's books, back when I was getting it started, that is. So I was really happy I finally got to see her, and then I paid tribute to her by using her as an inspiration for a scene for one of my Detective Dog and Cabbage Cat books I released recently from my children's book series. So it was just pretty cool. I mean, hey, how often do you get to go inside a building that's shaped like an elephant? It's pretty cool. So, and I hope they're doing okay out there because of what the pandemic has been doing. So if any of you out there have some extra money, go to lucytheelephant.org and donate to help the Lucy Foundation. Okay, here's another magnet, and this one comes from a very recent trip of like when I took a couple of days and I visited my cousin down in SoCal. I was really happy I finally got to see the La Brea Tar Pits once more. I went to the Tar Pits back in like I believe it was April or March of 2012 with my father when we were visiting my brother at his school. So that was a fun trip, but I was really glad we got to visit it once more and I got to see it all again. So They only had a few magnets this time, but oh well, you know what? I finally got one and it's got a ground sloth on it. That's what that is. And then of course it says La Brea Tar Pits. It was just really nice, so museums are definitely one place I always like to visit, especially like if I get to add a new magnet for my collection. Now this one has some strong meaning. This is a magnet. It is a magnet of Harapan, the Sumatran rhino, from when he was at the Cincinnati Zoo. I was so grateful I got to find this magnet at the zoo when I was there because back in 2015 I did an animal interaction program, and I was really amazed that I was the only one on tour that day. Maybe it's just because even though it was March and a lot of kids were starting to be on spring break, not everybody was. So I had all the animals to myself that day. I was able to be close to their two Bactrian camels, one of their red pandas, and then Harapan. I was very, very happy when I finally got to see him. In fact, I'm not making this up. I actually had a tear rolling down my eye because I've always wanted to see him. And it was just amazing. I got to see this rare and beautiful animal in person, or handsome animal, I like to say. I was very grateful I got to see him and meet him just before he went to Sumatra to contribute to a species with his brother, Andalas. And one cool thing about this memory was when I was feeding Harapan, at one point he thought I had food in my hand still. He ended up grabbing my hand with his mouth. It was a bit surprising, but he didn't hurt me. It didn't hurt at all. And the crazy thing is, I did not know this, but rhinos have tusks on their lower jaws. I mean, they're just like large, I guess you could say large molars or fang. I keep forgetting what the teeth are called, but it's almost like for us humans, like where it looks like we have fangs. I guess that's the kind of tooth that they have. And when I felt those tusk-like teeth on my wrist, inspiration came around. And then what I ended up doing was book number 68. I think that's the number. Reina has a toothache, which is about a Sumatran rhino who's afraid to go to the dentist. So hey, thank you, Harapan, and thank you for the memories. So while it's great that I have my magnet collection and I have all the memories and personal experiences that relate to them, it wasn't always that case when it came to collecting, because I don't know if many people who have Asperger's syndrome or autism experience this, but it does seem like that sometimes I've done, or sometimes, sorry, I admit, growing up I did a lot of, in my opinion, over compulsive collecting. Hopefully I didn't offend anybody by putting it that way, but to me, I felt like it was over compulsive, because when I was growing up, so I had a lot of things in life, so like I collected Beast Wars, the Transformer figures, like where the characters were actually animals and dinosaurs and creatures in disguise. So I collected those, but I sold those a couple years ago when I was in the process of moving for the first time. Let's see. I collected Beanie Babies at one point. I sold some. Didn't have much luck, but but the biggest one was like when I had a big Disney experience one time. And when I mean Disney experience, I was like when I was a little too obsessed with Disney. I mean, I know we a lot of us have that Disney bug, but I think I kind of overdid it a little bit sometimes with the Disney collecting. And I think what I'll do is I'll show you a few of the remains of that collection that I've kept over the years. Okay, and just set up for this occasion, for this video, I thought what I would show you is one of the biggest parts of my collection that I still actually hold on to this day is Pete's Dragon. Pete's Dragon, the original 1977 film right here. This has been my favorite ever since I first watched it in 1998. Yeah, once again, 1998. I feel like that year was almost a little bit changing, because that's the year I also watched Cats for the first time. Anyways, when I watched Pete's Dragon, I just fell in love with the movie, the music, Candle on the Water, and it's a brazzle dazzle day. And I felt like, like when it came to going to the Disney parks, it's always a brazzle dazzle day. So, I mean, this was kind of a little over the years, like where I was just collecting like anything that came from Pete's Dragon, whether it was the original film or the remake, but this was definitely something I could not depart with, just because Pete's Dragon is still a part of me. So as you can see, and there were some things I actually had to get on eBay. I believe this Elliot is from the 80s, from his style. And then of course, here's like the first DVD release of Pete's Dragon, along with the 2009 release. And then here's this 2017 Elliot plush, which I actually took with me on a trip to my very last time to Disneyland in 2018. There's the Build-A-Bear 2016 Pete's Dragon Elliot doll. And then of course, let's see. And then this one, I believe this is from the late 70s, because the tag on his tail does say Walt Disney Productions. So that could be the tape. So that could be like over 40 years old. And then here is like the plush that was released in commemoration of the 2016 remake, which I did take to Disneyland in 2016. And then let's see. This was the very first Elliot toy I had, which was from the I forgot the name of what the release was called, but it was from the Happy Meals of McDonald's in 1997, like where they had Pete's Dragon, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Toy Story, The Three Caballeros. So I kept this one my entire life, which is like, let's see, 25 years now, 1997. And then let's see. And then here's a Christmas ornament. And let's see, here's that Funko I was telling you about when I did my bingo unveiling. Here we got some pins, and also this one right here. This Elliot pin comes from a little mini collection I have on my fridge, and you can actually see it at the beginning of the video if you look very closely. Is a Main Street Electrical Parade collection, so I had to include this one. Got some pins. This one I had to get on eBay because in 2017, when the Main Street Electrical Parade returned to Disneyland, my annual pass was up, so I just wanted to get this just so at least I can have Elliot in my collection. And then this one was from when the Electrical Parade returned to California Adventure. Unfortunately, Elliot doesn't light up anymore or play the Electrical Parade opening fanfare anymore, but it's still nice to have. And here's the second Happy Meal toy I got from 2002, like when they did the 100 years of Walt Disney Magic. And then here, this one, my parents were able to get me online back in the Christmas season of 2001, which was from, it is an annual pass holder pin, so as you can see, let me just close it up. Yeah, see? Disney's Electrical Parade annual pass holder. So I was very grateful that they found this online. I don't know how much it cost, but hopefully it didn't cost too much. But hey, it's got Elliot on it. And here's a couple other pins. And then of course, here's the Pete's Dragon action figure and Pete from the 2016 release. And then of course the Electrical Parade Elliot. And this one, they didn't sell it when I saw the Main Street Electrical Parade return in 2017. So I was very fortunate I was able to find this one on eBay. But that's pretty much all there is with Pete's Dragon. So this is one part of my Disney collection I'm going to be keeping with me for the rest of my life. just because it's a huge part of me. And I feel like sometimes Elliot, I don't know why, I feel like the way Elliot behaves, maybe he has Asperger's syndrome. What do you think? So here are some other rare Disney characters I want to keep for just because they could be really rare one day, or maybe I won't sell them, we'll see. But if anybody remembers Disney's Wuzzles, these are the main stars. So here, Mussel, he's half moose, half seal. Ellaroo, my favorite, half elephant, half kangaroo. Butterbear, half bear, half butterfly. Bumble lion, half bumblebee, half lion. Hippopotamus, half rabbit, half hippopotamus. And Rhinoki, half rhinoceros and monkey. So these ones were released in 1985. Let's see, I think it was 1985. Let's see, I think, does it say, let's see, Musso, let's see. Can we get it on the camera yet? I think, oh, come on, it's gotta be, there we are, yeah, 1985. So these are 36 years old. I didn't get these until like 2000, well, these 5 particular until 2001 when my mom found them on a website for me, which was pretty cool, so thank you, Mom. But then I found Rhino Key on eBay in 2006. So it's pretty cool to have some rare Disney characters in the collection as well. But still, you know, but like I said, I didn't want to keep too much just because like I literally collected too much. So this last summer, when I really felt my life was going to change, when I finally got hired for Sutter, and I felt I was going to be moving out of Sacramento soon, what I did was, while I did sell quite a bit over the years, I decided to make a big sacrifice and give the rest of my Disney toys to this family and their little girl, which they actually told me that they were going to use as basically like rewards for every time she did something really good, whether it's like her chores or behavior or school. So I hope the toys are doing okay, and I really hope that they're all doing well. I'm really glad though, really glad. I was really grateful when she said that, you know, I was going to make their little daughter very happy. So probably even like, I think she even said like one of the happiest girls on earth. I was like, oh, so kind of like a Disney thing. So I hope they're doing okay, and I hope those toys are okay. Thank you to that family so much if you ever find this video. And also, you know what, before I move on, I thought I'd just show you the back of the Wuzzles. It's pretty interesting how they kind of like, you know, went a little different from how they were in the Disney show, but still just, you know, very unique. But the interesting thing is, I was always wondering, how come all the Wuzzles had wings that they all couldn't fly, with the exception of like Butterbear and Bumble Lion? But oh well, you know, it's still pretty cool. It's a pity though that it didn't do well. But still a really cool show. And also what's really cool are these guys. Yep, what you're looking at are Captain EO toys right here from 1986. You know, 35 years old now. I don't have Fuzzball, unfortunately, but I have the Geeks, Idie, and Odie. So he's pretty cool. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Yep, Disney 1986. Got him on eBay. And here's my favorite Hooter. Basically, what I like about him is he kind of just looks like like a space elephant, doesn't he? Yeah, look at his design. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at his tail. Look at that, and look at his feet. So I can only imagine how much these guys are. Especially if I had Fuzzball, I can only imagine how much more the collection would be worth. And then also, this one I could not get until, oops, sorry, I'm trying to record at the same time and then pick them up. This one I did not obtain until 2012. It's Major Domo, the robot, and then on his back, Minor Domo, the little robot. So I was really glad that I got these in time, especially like when Disney brought back Captain EO after Michael Jackson passed away. So, but these, I don't know if I'm really going to sell them, just like the Wuzzles. Because, I mean, how often do you come across these rare Disney characters? I mean, you don't see them as meet and greets anymore. I think they were only meet and greets like when the attraction opened in 1986. But still, I like this. So that's part of the Disney collection right there. And to continue with the Disney collection I kept over the years, here's something else. This actually I owed to my uncle and aunt for in 2002. They actually found this and this let me have it. It's a plush of Big Al from the Country Bear Jamboree, which is still one of my favorite Disney attractions. It's still a pity that they took it out of Disneyland. Nothing against Winnie the Pooh, but you know, at least they brought them back as meet and greets. I mean, heck, they brought them as for a special occasion for the annual pass holders back in 2015, just before the Disneyland 60th anniversary began. So yeah, Big Al, it doesn't have his hat or his or his like vest, but still it's pretty cool. Let's see. I believe the tag does say, yep, Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Walt Disney Productions. I don't know if it says what year this is from, but let's see. Nope. Okay. But I'm assuming it's probably from like the 90s or something. So, but still pretty cool design. I mean, look at this. I mean, look at the detail in Big Al, his eyes, his snout. 5 o'clock shadow, his mouth. It literally is kind of like in the Country Bear Jamboree. There was blood on the saddle. I couldn't resist. So that's one from my favorite show, and I also have 4 Beanie Babies from the Country Bears as well that I still kept. So here are 4 Beanie Babies of the Country Bear Jamboree I only bought. And when I mean only bought, these are the only 4 characters I purchased. So let's see, like Fred here and Zeke, I bought in 1999, which is unfortunately the last time I saw the Country Bear Jamboree. And even though I bought Liver Lips McGraw and Trixie in 2000 with my dad and my late stepmother and her family, we didn't see the Country Bear Jamboree on that trip, or the following year when my after school program went to Disneyland, you know, in the spring of that year, just before the attraction opened. So that's why I'm keeping these. Unfortunately, Fred and Zeke, I accidentally cut off their tags. I wish I didn't do that. So, but oh well, they're still great to have. So I definitely want to hold on to a favorite part of my Disneyland memories of the Disneyland of many years ago. Now, these are 2 Disney toys I cannot depart with despite their condition. These are from my very first trip to Disneyland in 1988. I believe that was the year, just before my brother was born with my parents. So as you see, it's Dumbo and it's Eeyore. Their condition is really a little bit bad right now, but I've got to hold on to them because they were part of my life and my very first trip to Disneyland. I do regret to say, though, Eeyore's tail is gone. I have a feeling I might have pulled it out when I was little, kind of like reenacting like what we saw in the movie. But still, you know what? These are a part of my childhood, so I can't get rid of them. They got to be a part of who I am. So, you know, it was just... And the funny thing is, I actually remember a little bit of that trip. I do remember the one distinct memory I have from that trip was like when my very first Disney character meet and greet was Tigger. And I was shy, and then Tigger was like, oops. Like, basically, I guess you could say that's the best way to describe his pose. And as it turns out, my father actually caught that on camera. And, you know, and my mom got a laugh out of it, like in the picture, like when I was turning my head away from Tigger, and Tigger put his hands on his mouth. It was like, you know, and like, whoops. That's what I mean. You know, kind of like if someone's going to say like, uh-oh, whoops, like that. So these are, I don't know if I can count these as part of my collection, but they're part of Disney. But they've been a part of my life for many years. And also something else I could keep as knickknacks, which it was kind of been my favorite thing, you know, my favorite animal since I was a little kid, are elephants. So I have too many elephants to go to talk about, but here's some elephants I have on display. Again, these were from like different like trips that my family members went on that I couldn't. So we got that. I know some people are not going to like me for this, but yes, those are Ringling Brothers stuffed elephants from when I went to the circus. I know some people are going to hate me for this part, and I totally understand, but I don't see anything wrong with animals performing as long as they're treated with love and respect. I know some people are going to hate me for saying that, but I'm okay with it because I know everybody's open to different opinions and views. But that's what I just wanted to share with you. So really, that's all there is to it. That's my collection for you. So while I over collected over the years, you know what, they're still part of my memories. And, you know, at least I took pictures of all the stuff I sold and donated and gave away. So they're not really gone. They're still part of my memories. But for now, what I do want to collect and always will continue to collect are my magnets. And I can't wait to see what magnets I'll get next, you know, on the next trip or next visit to where, who knows where I'll go. So we shall see. But hey, let's finish this video off with some memories I made from oh man, we got some horn honking out there, from this month of February of 2022. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Hope everyone has a loving holiday this year, and I hope you all find love. Oh, and before I forget, before we go, I just thought I would share this one as well. This Main Street Electrical Parade farewell season video from 1996, which my mom bought from my brother and I, and we were very lucky. We got to see the one of the last few showings of the Main Street Electrical Parade in October of that year. The reason I wanted to share this is not only does it represent my favorite parade in Disney history, but also because on the back cover, look at that, Elliot. Almost forgot to include this one. So yeah, just so I wanted to finish up with that. Oh, and how can I forget these? So silly me, I kept the map from 2009, like when they did the Summer Nightastic, and there's Elliot. I know I have my Main Street Electrical Parade return map somewhere, but I can't find it. So hopefully I'll find it. Maybe I'll even show it in a later video. And then of course, this was re-released when the Main Street Electrical Parade came back in 2017. I just thought I'd share that because Elliot's on it. And this here I got on eBay. I have not been to Tokyo Disneyland yet, but hopefully one day soon. And yep, in case you're kind of curious to know about this book, I bought this in 2009. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you have any questions, comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe. Yep, subscribe right there and right next to Elliot. All right, take care, everybody. See you around. Wait, don't go yet. I can't believe it. I can't believe I forgot about this Elliot too. Silly me. This was from 2003, like that when my family and I were there. This is just a little like plush toy like the Beanie Baby Elliot. And you see it's Disney's Electrical Parade. It's still got that. It's still got the tag, everything. Elliot. And also, watch this. There we are. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, everybody. Take care.